What's up guys, Matt back again with another video, and today we're going to be discussing my top 5 most desired characters from the NAMEK saga of Dragon Ball Z, along with an Ichiban Kuji concept that I think would be the most realistic version of this Kuji. Before we dive into the video, please remember to subscribe and hit the bell, like the video, comment your thoughts down below for us to discuss, follow me on my socials, and consider becoming a YouTube member to enter into our monthly giveaways and Discord server so our community can help you on your Dragon Ball figure collecting journey. So this video was requested by Nexus from our Discord server. He wanted me to talk about my top 5 most desired characters from NAMEK alongside an Ichiban Kuji. If you would like to be included in a video like this while asking me to do a concept that you'd love to see me talk about, please consider joining our Discord server. It's only $3 a month. You get permanent access even if you don't decide to renew after your first month, and we can talk about great things in our server. It's an awesome community that's growing and building every day. All right, so let's go through my top 5 characters here. I think a lot of these would be no surprise, especially if you've been following my channel for a while. You've probably heard me once in a while or on my streams or something, which I do stream 3 times a week. I talk about this stuff pretty often. The NAMEK saga is such a great part of Dragon Ball Z that I love a lot. I like to break up the NAMEK saga into at least 2 sections, the NAMEK saga and then the Frieza saga, just because both are kind of like their own length. They're both very long and deserve to kind of be looked at separately. They're almost like different chapters of the whole NAMEK saga. So I call this a NAMEK arc specifically. So it's going to be more focused on the beginning of the NAMEK arc before they really started fighting Frieza. So I would say up until the fight with Ginyu. But that being said, my number 1 most desired character from the NAMEK arc is Frieza without his pod and with a scouter on. Yes, we have gotten first form Frieza as an Ichiban Kuji within the last year. He was in his pod, which is super iconic, very unique look. I love the prize A that I have. I have thoughts about the last one prize if you guys have not seen my top 10 most disappointing figures of 2023. But I think it's time that we get Frieza out of his pod. Even if he's just chilling in his spaceship, he's not doing anything special, I'd still be really happy. Preferably, I would get a Frieza that's technically in the beginning of the Frieza saga in my eyes, when he catches Vegeta, Gohan, and Krillin had already made their wishes, Porunga dies, and he's yelling at them in anger. I think that would be a very explosive figure. But for this one specifically, maybe him out of his pod sometime in the NAMEK saga. He still has a scouter on. I think that would be really, really cool. My second choice is Goku when he arrives on NAMEK. This is so iconic, him busting out of the spaceship. He's got his sensu bean bag on his waist. He looks ready to fight. It's just this big iconic moment. It's a big moment for Goku because the fighters are down, the Ginyu Force are beating their butts, and Goku shows up ready to beat some butt himself. And I just think it looks super cool. We only have one base Goku from the whole NAMEK saga, unless you count the Kaioken Goku that came out last year. But I would love a dedicated base form Goku that isn't like looking down on Frieza or paired with Frieza, just on his own, showing off that he's ready to fight. Number 3 is one that I see everybody talk about. Well, technically, they say one of 2 different looks for this, but one look I think is specifically more in the Frieza saga, which is Vegeta from the NAMEK saga. So this one specifically would be him without the waist plates around his waist, and he has no tail. So he basically looks a lot like he did in the Saiyan arc, but there are a few changes to his armor in this look, and he's lacking a tail. So I think this would be really cool. Maybe he doesn't have a scouter with this, since he doesn't really use the scouter in the NAMEK saga. He quickly destroys it and gets rid of it. And I think it would be really cool whether it's him like this, or if he's battle damaged after his fight with Zarbon. Either one, I'd be really happy with it. It would be a unique Vegeta figure, and we definitely need a lot more Vegeta within the Master Lee's Ichiban Kuji space. Next is Nail. Nail is a unique character. How can you forget Nail? He does the first fusion with Piccolo. Technically, I think it's the first fusion in the entire franchise. Nail is kind of beloved, I think, within the fan base. He doesn't do a whole lot, but him standing up to fight Frieza and us finding out that he's actually really strong, probably could have helped out a lot to fight the Ginyu Force, is pretty impressive. But Nail is basically the Piccolo that stayed on NAMEK, and I really love him for it. I think people would love to have one of these very smaller supporting characters within an Ichiban Kuji. kind of like Kui and Mr. Satan and these other characters that we've been seeing more of, I think Nail would make a great choice. Finally, we got Zarbon last year, but why don't we have Monster Zarbon? Let's see Monster Zarbon show up as a Master Release Bandai. He's very unique. He reveals the idea that even Frieza can transform, and he just looks so different compared to the regular form for Zarbon. In fact, I would love to see the sculptor who's been doing things like the Cell Max. He did the Super Saiyan Goku and Omnibus Brave. He does more of the monstrous, uglier characters. I think his art style would be perfect for someone like Zarbon. And now let's talk about my realistic idea for a Namek arc focused Ichiban Kuji. This Ichiban Kuji would be called Ichiban Kuji Dragon Ball Z Namek Showdown. Prize A would be Goku coming out of the space pod, as I mentioned earlier in the video. He would be our first definitive base Goku from the Namek arc and be an incredible character and figure. Prize B is Frieza in his first form, hanging out in the space pod, holding a glass of wine. I think the glass of wine would be a really cool touch. It is something that we see in the anime. I don't recall if this is in the manga, so forgive me if I'm wrong. Either way, a first form Frieza chilling and just out of his space pod would be really nice. Maybe they could make it a Master Release Plus where he has the space pod, but it's next to him. And I think that would be a really cool addition to have alongside a Master Release Frieza properly out of his space pod in his first form. Prize C is Nail. Nail is ready to fight. I would love to see him in any pose, honestly. Just having Nail as a Master Release would make so many people happy. I think he would get taken up super fast off of the shelves. Nail, again, is a fan favorite character from the Namek arc. I think he's super unique and super cool and would be awesome as our Prize C. And then Prize D is Vegeta in his damaged armor. I mentioned earlier that I wouldn't really mind which look they went with for Vegeta, but because of the next figure in this set, I think Vegeta would have damaged armor, which I think might be our first battle damage Vegeta besides the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan that came out in Omnibus Super. So would love to see more battle damaged characters. They just offer a very unique look for certain characters, and they usually pop out because of their battle. Prize E is Zarbon in his transformed state. Love Zarbon, as I mentioned earlier. He would pair very nicely alongside the Vegeta in this set. I don't think I would like to see him about to die, but I think it would be cool to see him in any way as his transformed state, as we need that to complete the whole Frieza Force pretty much in our collections. And then the last one prize would be a Master Release Plus Guru. Guru would make an excellent last one prize. He is pretty steady throughout the Namek arc until he dies at the beginning of the Frieza arc. Guru is just such a unique character. We've had a Dragon Ball Arise of Guru, but that figure is extremely expensive, and personally, I'm not a big fan of the quality behind Dragon Ball Arise, especially for the price that you're paying to get them. So I think a Master Release Plus or a Master Release Extra of Guru chilling in his throne would be amazing. But guys, that is my concept for a Namek arc focused Ichiban Kuji. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, how you would make a Namek arc focused Kuji outside of the Frieza section, and let's discuss. But until the next video, guys, I will see you all later.